Hello and welcome to the Hot+keys podcast. This is a show where we talk about everything pop culture and random in the world. I'm your host, Mick, and today I'm joined by
Landon Browning,
Jordan Elton,
and David Parker.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Jordan, how'd you get in my house?
I was invited.
How do you know where his house is?
I looked it up on Google Maps.
Oh, everybody look it up on Google Maps.
If you look up Landon's house, it'll give you the address.
Landon's house has gotta go. Will is at a Smash Bros tournament, and Colby's out of town. So
Yes.
So I was the fifth choice.
So we are told.
Yeah,
They could be lying.
I'm pretty sure.
yeah, it might be that Colby's at the Smash Bros tournament and Will is out of town.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Today is June 4th, which also means today is Dave's wedding anniversary.
Were you gonna say a number, but you didn't know what the number was?
No, it's your 6th.
It's my 6th wedding anniversary, so I'm celebrating it with the boys.
Yeah.
The best.
Bree,
that's
Bree's at the
correct-
hospital. So.
That's the correct one. So, like, number 5 is you give paper, and then number 6 you do a podcast with some dudes.
Yep, and then number 7 is cardboard, I think. So.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you don't know the order of gifts
No,
for
I
anniversaries.
don't.
Oh, it's okay. Neither do I. That's why I said cardboard for number 7 because I don't know what it is.
That's a bunch of stupid hot.
Gifts don't get good till the double-digit years.
Well, gifts don't get
Just
good
like-
till like the late double-digit years.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
You guys sound like you're
Bree
about
just got
to,
home,
like,
so
do a
I'll
rap.
see you guys later.
Gifts don't give good to the double-digit rap. That's what it sounded like in my head. Anyway, so how's your guys' week been?
It was really good. It was a really solid week.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
I had a Memorial Day off from work,
Me too.
which was
So
really
did I.
nice. I was gonna take a shot at my old company, but you know what? not gonna do that.
Gotta be a bigger man.
Yeah.
What about you, Dave? Did you have a good week?
Yep. I watched a lot of TV, played a lot of video games, read a lot of books.
What
Just another week.
Just another week.
what TV show did you watch?
I watched some Obi-Wan. We can talk about that because
Yeah.
we didn't talk about that last week.
Jordan, you have not.
No, but I don't care about spoilers. And
Okay,
Okay.
so have we all seen episode 3?
I've seen the
No,
first 2
Dave
episodes.
Hat.
Gosh dang it, Dave.
Well, you can talk about episode 3.
You don't care?
Yeah, I imagine nothing too crazy happened based off of the first 2 episodes. So
There's some interesting. I don't.
Episode 3 definitely has like a big thing that happens. Kind of.
I don't know how I feel about this show. I feel like really conflicted about it, like the entire thing. Like,
I'll just say, like, the only thing going into this show that I wanted and that I care about is I want Anakin, Vader, and Obi-Wan stuff. Like, everything else can just piss off. But they have made the Inquisitors like a very big part of the show, which I'm not that interested. I don't really care about them that much. I will say the 3rd episode gives me more of what I want out of the show. So
I don't know, but like even that, like I don't. It doesn't feel. I can't quite place it, but it doesn't almost feel like Star Wars, like this show. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I can't place it. Like, I'll just say, I find like Leia, like annoying as hell. Like, I don't know what
pretty accurate to her character.
I know, but like, I just like, it's
She
just
was always
grating. I'm
kind of
like, this
annoying.
is, but like, I don't
think-
know if it's like, she's supposed to be 10, but like the actress does not even look 10 years
the
old. She
actress.
looks like
Okay,
she's, like-
so Bree
she
and I
looks like
looked this
she's
up.
6 years old.
Bree and I
Like,
looked this up after we watched, I think, the first episode, because we were like, first of all, you're like, that's like the shortest 10-year-old girl we've ever seen, and she like seems like she's really small. And so we looked it up, and I guess the actress at the time of shooting was 8 years old, and she's playing a 10-year-old Leia, which was like one of the few times I'm like, so they chose someone who's younger than the
They
child.
never do that.
Like they never do that,
weird.
but like she seemed like she was like 7 or 8 years old. I'm
I
kind
feel
of
like the. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm kind of torn on the Leia character. I think sometimes she's like really annoying, which I guess is fine because she's like a spoiled rich kid. But there are moments that I think that like she's a good character, and I think she's kind of compelling, and she does seem. There are some certain scenes that really makes her feel like a very good representation of a young Leia. But I think there's too much kind of annoying stuff that like detracts from what I was expecting from the show, from like a show called Obi-Wan.
I think she's definitely the best in the third episode.
Okay.
She and Obi-Wan have a lot of good conversations and just interactions. I think she's the worst when there's like cheesy chase scenes with her.
Oh my God.
Like it felt ridiculous to me that these
No, I wanted to mention that the chase scenes in the first 2 episodes are like some of the worst chase scenes
they felt
I've seen in anything.
Really, yeah, they felt like really cheesy, like Home Alone.
It's like they didn't know
scenes.
how to shoot a chase scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first one in particular in the forest, like it was like
it was really bad.
comically bad.
It was like how could they not catch her for that long? Like also
like the guys are like, oh, I fell over
Yeah.
a root and I can't grab her.
At that point, like you had 2 options. I think you just don't shoot a chase scene. She's a 10-year-old girl who looks like she's 7. Just grab her, like take the chase scene away, or make the chase scene somewhat more compelling. Like have the assailants start like farther away than 10 feet, and then don't make the chase scene last like a minute and 30 seconds long.
I think she had like one cool slide that she did, but then everything else was just like ridiculous.
I think they didn't know how to shoot one, right? Like, or they didn't have like a good action coordinator or something, because having a chase scene there is not a bad idea, but the execution of it was horrible. And then you have that later in, I think, the same episode, with like when it might be episode 2 with the third sister chasing across the rooftops.
Oh,
and then
God.
in the warehouse too, you know, they jump onto the ship and fly away, and she's basically there, like the third sister's there like shaking her fist because she spent so long killing the other guy, and then she just misses them and they shoot it really weird that makes it seem like it's like this really corny sequence of events that like could easily have just been shot a tiny bit differently to make it not seem so stupid. And I feel like there was so many of those moments in the first 2 episodes that I saw that it just seemed extra corny, extra cheesy.
Yeah, I get that. There's also a scene in the third episode when they're in a tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
And like it just doesn't, there's like some weird stuff that doesn't make any sense. Like they're going down a tunnel and it seems like it's just like a one-way tunnel.
Right.
And then the third sister finds the entrance.
Right.
And then there's like the other, I can't remember the character's name. They introduce a new character.
I forget her name.
And she's going back through the tunnel to go. And I'm like, well, how do they not cross paths?
Yeah, I feel like
But then Leia runs into the character at the end of the, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Like
there's like some
she
convoluted,
teleported.
yeah, like how did she find the end without crossing paths with the other, like there's just stuff that didn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that being confusing. Because it's like I don't really remember them showing multiple branches in the tunnel.
It just seemed like one tunnel.
I guess she could have. Wait, I don't know.
And
Because it shows her going in the tunnel. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, but then she just magically appears at the end, the exit of it.
I don't know.
And then also like the character that's helping Obi-Wan and Leia, I think she was on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, she was.
As the Viper's girlfriend or whatever. I can't remember her name.
Was she the one in Luther's
Yes.
wife? Okay.
Yeah, Luther's wife. Yeah, she's in it, and like Obi-Wan's like trying to like hold off some bad guys or whatever, and they're like trying to escape this tunnel, and like Leia convinces her to go back to help Obi-Wan. I'm like, who would listen to a 10-year-old child be like, oh, you should go back instead of like do what the other, like instead of protecting
Maybe
me.
she's using hints of Force influence, you know, because she's a Force.
She's like, I can breathe in space.
Gosh.
I'm sorry.
No.
This is your fault, Landon. Mick's upcoming rant is on you. To go back to the third sister.
Yeah, this young Leia is better than Leia that we got in The Last Jedi.
To go back to the third sister, I find her like comically evil also. I don't really like her character. I think maybe the acting isn't too great. I think also too it's like a lot of her decisions haven't made any sense. Like I think killing the Grand Inquisitor, like it really made, I think, little sense to me. All it did was make her seem more like a cartoon villain to me.
But you're gonna kill off Rupert Friend's character? Like,
There's a lot
God,
about that does not make sense unless they reveal at the end of the show that he's not dead, because that character is in Rebels,
yeah,
and Rebels takes place years after this. So unless they're doing like just a big retcon, he can't be dead.
yeah. Which seems like they shouldn't be missing stuff like that. Like,
I don't think. Yeah, it's not like these people aren't involved with like the canon that's been built in the Disney era. So I feel like something has to come about it where he's actually not dead.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not great.
Yeah, she's like I said earlier, like I don't care about the Inquisitors. I think that they at some point they are kind of purposefully bumbling and annoying, because that's how Vader sees them. He doesn't care about them.
Yeah. They're all like old Jedi for the most part, right? Like, or
yes. Yeah. And the Grand Inquisitor was some type of like temple guard.
Oh, okay.
He was like, I think he was there during when Ahsoka got banished and kicked out.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that. That's like Clone Wars stuff, right?
Clone Wars, yeah. Yeah, I'd say overall, I'm still enjoying. I think Ewan McGregor has been doing a really good job at playing this like just defeated Ben character.
He's definitely got some
he does seem like really like he has the weight of the past on his shoulders. So I have liked that about him. He does seem like a very broken version of his previous character we had seen in episode 3 in particular.
Yeah. I was watching this one video of this guy like just ripping that apart and just saying it's so dumb. Like he's not the same as he used to be. Like I can't believe they're screwing it up this much. It's like that's the point. Like he's supposed to be this completely broken character at this point in the timeline, because if you think about it, like he blames himself basically for, everything that happened with Anakin and, the Empire rising up and taking over. Like that all falls on his shoulders.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just like Luke from episode 8, I mean, all that time that went into, like he felt guilty about like the slaughter of all his people, and then basically like the First Order coming back, like, I mean, like that really changed him as a character. And
please stop. I hate that movie.
That movie sucks so bad.
I hate it.
That whole trilogy sucks.
For the rest of this season or the series of Obi-Wan, like, do you feel like it's going to go somewhere that you guys are enjoying, or so far? I mean, is it kind of like? I think
so. I think each episode is getting better, especially episode 3. So I'm still hopeful. I want the like attention to really get more narrowed in on Obi-Wan and Vader, because to me that's like what this story should be telling. That's what's the most interesting thing. And after episode 3, I think it should be leaning that way, hopefully.
As I was watching episode 2, I was thinking, well, Landon must be happy because they left Tatooine like in episode 1.
Oh yeah, thank God.
Because I was like, oh, another show, another Star Wars property that starts on Tatooine. I was like, Landon must be pissed.
I was a little upset, but it was cool to see Joel Edgerton as Owen. I'm a fan of him. Like his actor's pretty cool, so seeing him back.
That was a pretty big dig he gave Obi-Wan when he was like you trained his father.
Yeah. Well, we know how it ends up for Owen, so he gets what's coming to him.
In 10 more years.
Yeah, 10 more years.
Can we talk about how much Owen and Obi-Wan age in those 10 years?
Yeah, dude, they age a lot, dude. Like, he goes from like, yeah.
I feel like you would age pretty quick on a desert planet, right?
Yeah.
Just being beaten by the sun.
What are they, back to farmers or whatever?
They're moisture farmers,
whatever. Back to, I don't know. Moisture, whatever.
That's the name of the tank, right? Back to tank?
Yeah.
Back to, I don't know. Yeah, I'm a little rusty on my Star Wars terminology.
Nah, that's cool.
That's okay. Anyway.
Twi'lek.
So yeah, I'm excited for you to watch episode 3, Dave, and see what you think.
We'll probably watch that today or something,
Cool.
I've also started watching season 3 of The Boys.
Oh,
was made its triumphant return.
Did you end up watching the animated?
I never did. I should watch it.
There's an animated thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
Was that a yes?
Was
I
it?
don't know. I'm getting it confused with
Invincible?
I don't know if I did.
I feel like the
didn't
tone
watch
would
it.
be so different between the two shows that it'd be easy to distinguish the two, right?
Well, I'm just looking at it as an animated, like violent, over the
Oh.
top show. That I'm pretty sure they have in common. What do you think of season 3?
It's great. It's so messed up. Like it's just so like the first 15 minutes. Like there's a scene that happens in the first 15 minutes of the season opener that I was like screaming like internally. I was like, oh my god, like I can't believe they just showed this on TV. Like I actually don't know how they showed it. Like the whole like I don't want. It's so over
don't
the
spoil
top
it. I haven't
and
seen
it. And so like messed up that like.
Is it something Homelander does? It's probably something related to
No, it's not.
no.
No, it's just like a rant. Like, yeah, Homelander does some stuff in like subsequent episodes. I've seen the first 2 of the 3. They've released the first 3, and then it's weekly, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I love Homelander. Like, I get like just like so.
Do you need
scared
like a preface though, like why you love him?
Because he's a great hero.
Oh no,
He's the hero we deserve.
the only character you liked better was his girlfriend from the previous.
No,
season.
I didn't. No, like
You want to be a psychopath or a Nazi? Is what I'm hearing.
Homelander. His acting's so good though. What's his Anthony Starr?
He's unnerving to
Yeah,
watch.
and it's just like the show's building. Like I feel like they've been building since season 1, like him getting more and more unhinged. And this season's
Which
like
he
really
already
playing.
started out like
Yeah,
his hinges were undone, you know, in season 1.
yeah, but it's getting more and more where like he's starting to like he's not caring anymore, but like what people think about him,
Uh-oh.
which is
That's
like,
the only
not
thing that
good.
keeps the mass murders at
Yeah.
bay.
Yeah, it's so good. I love that show so much. It's just so over. Like it's just a show you watch because like you know at any minute like they've shown throughout the first 2 seasons that they're willing just to kill people like characters like really quickly. So you watch it and you're like, I have no idea. Like, is Homelander just going to kill this person right now?
Is Billy okay? Is he?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that show. I've been watching that and then Barry season 3 also.
Bree and I have been watching Barry. We watched episode 4 last night.
Okay.
Which that's the one where like she has her acceptance speech and Barry sets the bomb under the house. That whole episode was really good. Like when she was giving her speech at her like TV premiere was like one of the most uncomfortable I think I've ever felt watching anything.
It's so awkward.
Ever.
It's so like the second hand, like the cringe, like
yes, yeah, that you're feeling from her trying to give this speech and then like her nervous laughter and crying in front of all these people. And it doesn't stop. You're like please cut away. Please cut back to Barry trying to like talk on the phone. But then also like you have Barry's storyline where he's so frame of reference for Jordan and Mick. Do you guys know about the show Barry?
No.
Okay, so it's an HBO show where like he's this hired killer, and he wants to become an actor. So he's in LA, but he's trying to be an actor. But he's having a hard time like getting out of that line of work, the being an assassin.
He's good at killing people.
Because he's a really good assassin. but you know he struggles with the fact that you know it's probably not like the best line of work.
Yeah, he's also extremely depressed and like suffers from like PTSD.
Yeah, he's a veteran from I think the Gulf War. So.
Yeah.
So in this episode, he's trying to set off a bomb, but it's like it uses like it's like a remote app from his phone, but he's having issues technically with it, so he has to call like the detonate apps. Like customer service line, going like, I'm having trouble with this. Like, I can't get it to detonate. She's like, oh, you know, like, is your Bluetooth turned on? Like, make sure you're like, you know, do you need a reset? Like, do you need to reinstall the newest version of your app? The whole scene was just really funny though, because it's played completely straight, but he's just sitting in this car across the street from this house where he put a bomb underneath the house, trying to get it to blow up, and he just can't get it to blow up with his phone. So there's just lots of like really funny moments like that are played like completely straight, but it makes it really funny in the moment for viewers, I think. But Bill Hader's acting is like really, really good. He, for someone who like you're so used to him being this funny actor for so many years, he plays this very different kind of character that you really haven't seen before, because he's a very serious character.
I mean,
and
he can be funny. There's
he
but,
can
like,
be funny, but he's really scary. Like really a scary character. You
the
don't
scene where
he doesn't.
the scene where he's yelling at his girlfriend in the office.
Yeah, that was
Like that seems like scary. Like because he's like I need you to do this. Like he's like screaming at him. Like and like everybody's just like standing there like looking at him.
Scary
Like,
Barry.
yeah. It's a really funny show though. So it's another one I'd recommend. It's a 30-minute comedy.
Where do you watch it?
It's on HBO Max.
Yeah. Oh, he's so good. Like because he's like trying to do like he's like somewhat trying to do the right thing, but like it's so messed up the way he's trying to do it. Like
Yeah.
I love all the stuff with what's the actor's name?
His
the
boss.
Fawns. Yeah, no, the Fawns.
Henry Winkler's character.
Yeah, Henry,
Yeah.
like he's like, oh, it's fine. No, we can fix this. He's like, we can fix this. Like, see, I made it better. Like, you can be an actor now.
Dude,
How old is Henry Winkler now?
He's got to be.
he's got to be in his
super old.
70s, I think, right? It's a good show.
Yeah.
Hank too. He's really funny. He comes on screen and I just start smiling because I know he's just gonna say something really funny. Gosh. Yeah.
I can't recommend that show enough.
Yeah, Barry, current season, really good, really funny. So
How many seasons are there?
I think it's on its fourth right now, right?
But no, third. It's on
it's
its
on its
third.
third
It got
right now.
It
Sorry.
got picked up for a fourth though. So if you like dark comedies, highly recommend because it really doesn't get much better, in my opinion. I would say it's like peak television because
The Boys is also another kind of like dark.
yeah, dark.
I was going to say, what do you like more, Boys or...
The Boys is more
They're a
like
lot.
satire, I would say. And then
Yeah, I would say Barry has more mass appeal. Like I can't recommend. Like I can recommend Barry to like my parents. I've recommended The Boys to them before, but like I don't. It's like The Boys. Like Barry is not over the top in my opinion. Like The Boys is so over the top.
Yeah.
In everything, like it's so over the top and like the amount of violence it like exposes it to, or like it's like outrageous the stuff they're doing on the show. So it's like harder to recommend to. Like there's certain people just don't want to watch someone's head explode. Like and like
It can get
it can get a little
too
much.
much.
Like Barry, like people get shot and they die and stuff, but it's typically like
It's not like a Saw movie.
yeah, it's like it's
No,
realistic.
no.
It's
Yeah.
realistic, but like it's not. The Boys is over the top of the gore department.
Yeah.
Barry too. It's a lot of the show has to do with like acting, and it's one of those like retrospective kind of shows where a lot of the show is about the process of being on a show or being an actor. So
Jeez.
so
You stuck up piece of
I
crap.
know, right? So it's kind of fun in that way too. It's much lighter. I mean, even though it's about this guy who's an assassin, but
Yeah.
it's more of, I would say it's more of a comedy.
Yeah,
Jordan, you've been watching Peaky Blinders?
Yeah, it's my second watch through.
Yeah. How I've heard good things about this.
It's really good. I watched the first 5 seasons because season 6 isn't out yet in the U.S.
Can you do the accent that they do?
No,
Oh,
I can't. do
Billy
the accent.
Kimba.
I really enjoy it. I watched it back in December of last year, and with the new season coming out in a week or so, I wanted to rewatch through all of it so I could refresh my memory.
That is Cillian Murphy, right?
Yeah, he is.
He's the
Tommy Shelby.
He's the main character.
Yeah. Yep, it's a great
Tom
show.
Hardy in it too.
I don't know.
Yes.
I believe Tom Hardy is. in
Yeah,
it,
he plays like a side character. He's the butcher, Jordan. He's like the Jewish butcher, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Does he sound like this?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Will's not here.
the butcher.
Yeah, Will's not here, but I think Anya Taylor-Joy is in a couple of the later seasons.
I don't think I got to those. I never got to those seasons because I had seen the first 3 seasons, I believe. Bree and I were watching it, and we ended up getting sidetracked and never got back to it. But my question, so Landon, like before we even started recording, like Landon was like joking about Jordan watching a show that wasn't Criminal Minds. So my question though was more serious. How did you go from a show with the caliber of Criminal Minds, and then the next thing you jump to is Peaky Blinders? Like, what was it about that show that made you like, I want to start this and I want to watch this show in particular?
I think part of it,
To Jordan, they're the same.
yeah, they're the exact same. Criminal Minds was something I watched when I was younger with my mom, and so I just continued watching it because I enjoyed it, and it was just good to pass the time. But I think playing through Red Dead, I really enjoy that time period, like 1890 to 1930-ish. And so this show takes place in the 20s.
Yeah, because it's like right after World War One, and that's a big portion of the story is like how the war affected all of these guys, especially like all the brothers, because was it 2 of them or 3 of them went to war.
I know that Arthur and Tommy did. I don't remember if John did.
And I think
he was too young.
Yeah, the 2 main brothers, like in particular, were like really affected by World War One. You know,
and a lot of the guys from the actual gang was in the war as well.
Dude, what a messed up war, right? I mean, like, you've read stories and like heard things about like the horrors of World War One and like how much of just like a meat grinder it was.
Yeah. Because most of it, you just sat in a trench, and then one day they're like, "All right, we're gonna run out of the trench.
Yeah, we're gonna run up over the top, and then you're gonna die." So,
well, Tommy Shelby was a tunneler.
What's this
so
color?
He would build
this
tunnel.
color smoke heading to?
Oh no!
Oh god!
Oh no!
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah. So it was the time period that was the reason I chose it.
Okay.
Plus, I heard high reviews of it on social media.
Isn't Aidan Gillian in it too, or whatever?
That might be a later season. That might be later from what I've seen. I've seen him on like the Netflix splash screen, but I don't think I ever saw him in the show. So he does seem like a perfect actor to fit into that, that time period though for that kind of show.
Aidan Gillian?
He's also in The Dark Knight Rises. He's the CIA guy.
Mick.
What's the part of your plan now?
Did you guys watch Shanghai Nights when you visited, Dave, last time?
No,
I don't think we did, but
we watched
Rush Hour.
Yeah, we watched Rush Hour.
Okay.
What's his name in Shanghai Nights, Mick? Because
Lord Rathbone?
Lord Rathboner, because they just keep making fun of his name. And
Gosh, yeah, Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights are just some of the best comedy action films ever. They're so funny.
Owen Wilson and Jackie Chan, they go together so well in those movies.
You're gonna need a bigger gun!
Anyway.
I should watch more Peaky Blinders. I watched a few episodes.
I highly recommend it to anyone. It's relatively short too. It's only 6 episode seasons. Each one's like 40 minutes or so.
And you're coming off of Criminal Minds where there was like 85 episodes per season. So
I think Criminal Minds was like 20 to 24 episodes, and they were all an hour.
And there's 37 seasons of
15 seasons.
Great.
I watched all of them like probably 6 times.
When are you gonna start NCIS next, Jordan?
That's on my list.
Is it?
No.
You should. What's the next show you're gonna watch? Like,
have you seen Stranger Things?
No, I haven't.
You should do that one.
That's weird. That seems like a show that Jordan would have like, oh yeah, all the people online told me to watch this show, and Colby never shuts up about it, so I'm gonna watch this.
Stranger Things 4, Part 1, or Volume 1, just released last week, I think.
Did you start that or watch it already?
Yeah, I watched it all.
Oh,
I was sick for about 5 days, so I just binged it.
nice.
But yeah, each episode is over an hour, and then the last episode is like an hour and a half.
Oh, geez.
And then Volume 2, same thing, and I think the last episode for Volume 2 is like 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Is this
all part of season 4?
Part 2 is going to be like less episodes, right? Isn't it only like a few episodes?
I think it was the same. Like 6 or 7 episodes.
Is this the end of the show, or are they continuing it on?
So I've heard both. I've heard that this is it, and I've heard that they're doing one more season after. So I don't know.
It's been forever since the last season came out. It's been like 3 years, right?
The last one came out in 2019, I think.
Yeah.
So
none of the kids look like kids anymore. They all look like college students.
Is it Finn Wolfhard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the one that's changed the most. The Dustin character looks pretty much the same. And then of course all the older kids pretty much look the same, but yeah, all the youngins definitely had to grow up.
What about the Demogorgon? Does it look the same? Does it look a little aged?
No, same old Demi.
Is there a recap? Like when you start the 4th season, do they recap like what happened?
Yes, I think
because
so.
I can remember some stuff, but like I said, it's been a long time.
I think so. Well, after I binged that, then I binged 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, geez. Did you watch any of the Flight of the Conchords?
No, I haven't watched that yet.
Like the first, like as soon as I heard Mick was sick, I talked to him on the phone and I said, hey, you should watch Fly the Conchords. It's only 2 seasons. There's like very little episodes, and he's like, yeah, maybe I will. But instead he rewatches Stranger Things. So that's where I tried to call ahead of time to prevent that from happening.
That was before we had that conversation.
Oh, I see.
Yes. Now
Mick's sick, so he's like, what can I rewatch?
I love rewatching things.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
I've rewatched Psych a couple times recently.
I can't.
Bree and I are almost finishing Psych. We're on season 7. So
That show.
I love that show.
I like that show, but the later seasons just got like not that funny.
I still think it's funny in the late season. I still really like.
I was like season 5 when I think they go against Yin Yang.
That's the season 5 closer.
Yeah,
for the last time.
I liked after that. It was like, eh.
My favorite episode is in season 6.
Yeah, I know what your favorite episode.
What is it?
It's the lie detector episode, season 6 opener. It's great. Sean beats a lie detector test.
Yeah,
Admits his love for Juliet to Lassie.
It's when they think they caught him, and he's like, "Are you psychic?"
And he's like, yes,
I am.
I am.
And then he said something like, "You're legless" in Spanish or something like that.
has he done much since that show?
He was on the like NBC show.
Oh,
He was on some drama show on. Are you talking about James Rhode or James Rodriguez?
Yeah, what's it called? A Million Reasons or something, or like
something like that. I don't know if that show's still going, but
He's been in Psych the Movie 2, and Psych the Movie 3.
okay.
The movies are pretty good.
Are there 3 of them?
Yeah, I think there are plans for 1 or 2 more.
Oh my!
Maybe.
I watched the first movie and I was like, "This is terrible."
I love. The
Didn't
movie.
like
I have
the
not
actor
seen
of
those yet.
Lassie? Didn't he have something? He had a
Yeah, he had a.
Yeah.
In the second one, it shows him like injured. He's there.
Well, I think the second one is called like Lassie Returns,
Lassie
right?
Come
Yeah,
Home or
Lassie
something.
come home. Yeah.
Yeah. I've not seen the movies yet. When we finish this watching of Psych, I think we're gonna watch the movies. So.
The second and third one is on Peacock.
Oh, my favorite streaming service.
I couldn't find them anywhere else.
Right behind CNN Plus. Yeah, but I don't know. I still enjoyed early Psych. It's all right.
Yeah.
I just have a hard time going. I think I'd have a hard time going back to it. Like I have like fond memories of it, but I just feel like I'd have a hard time.
Did you only watch it once?
Yeah, I've only seen. I don't even know if I've seen all of it. I think I watched it for like the last season or something, or second to last season.
Are there 8 seasons?
Yeah. The 8th season is like half as long.
Yeah, because they knew they were getting canceled.
I think the last season was a lot of their dream episodes.
I didn't know Mick felt this way about the back half of Psych.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
because I thought it stays pretty consistently funny.
Have a problem ending, and I think the finale was okay, but just those later seasons to me just got not that funny.
I think a lot of season 8 was dream episodes that they wanted to film, like
Dream episode.
like their ideal. Like these are what we wanted to film.
I thought you meant like the character.
Like
no. Like if I could film,
Inception.
if I could film an episode, it would be this. And
Well, that's when they did like the musical.
Yeah.
Do you not
They
like
did
the
a
musical, Mick?
They did a remake of an
Cloudy with a
episode.
Chance of Murder reprised or
Yeah.
something like that.
That was from season
That was from season 1 or 2, right?
1, I think.
Yeah, I think it was
What?
season 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did just a remake.
Huh.
I enjoyed that one actually.
I just didn't understand why they picked that one.
I don't know.
It was just like, oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I still like Psych.
I remember always watching it with like you and Kate and Will and
Yeah.
at your house or
Yep.
watching an episode.
I watched it with some friends. Like I don't think I'd met you guys yet when I was watching it a bunch.
Probably not.
But I remember that was back like for me, like that show was like somewhat kind of edgy for like where I was at in life. Like, it was like good, but like it was kind of crude a little bit. It was like,
Dude,
ooh,
a
like,
USA TV PG show. Landon's
know,
like,
I
whoa,
know.
he's sweating a little as he's watching it.
yeah, like, oh,
I can't believe my parents let me watch this.
They say damn and hell on this show sometimes. Oh,
oh man.
oh, geez.
What's your favorite USA show, Dave?
It would be Suits, you know. Just kidding.
No.
It really is like I would say it's really probably a tie between Psych and Monk. I like both of those a lot.
Don't you like Burn Notice?
I like Burn Notice, but I like Psych and Monk more. So
But what about Burn Notice?
I like Burn Notice, but I like Psych and Monk more. Yeah.
I like Psych and Monk. I mean, Monk was good.
Yeah, I didn't really watch Monk that much. I watched like a chunk of it.
A chunk of Monk.
Monk.
Chunk of Monk.
Chunk of Monk.
Okay.
Anyway,
If you want me to cut that out, Mick, just let me know and I'll do it.
no, I'm gonna do it again. Chunk of Monk.
No, I felt kind of like it felt kind of wrong. Like I don't know. It felt like
What, you think?
it felt like a slur or something.
Think I might be insinuating something?
Something, I don't know.
Oh, no.
Everyone, do it with me. Did you guys hear about the Mona Lisa incident that happened last week?
No.
Yeah.
So apparently this guy who was disguised as an old lady in a wheelchair
Oh my god.
snuck in a cake into the Louvre. Is that how you say it? Louvre? Louvre?
Mhm.
Yeah. And he threw the cake at the Mona Lisa and like screamed about how we need to save the Earth
Oh my god.
and like think about the Earth, think about the planet.
Isn't it behind like glass though? Like,
It's behind
yeah.
like a bulletproof
Yeah.
sheet of glass. I mean, Dave, you should know because you guys went there, right?
Yeah. I didn't remember exactly what security measures were in front of it, but
Did you try to sneak a cake in?
I did, but I was hungry when we were in the Egyptian section, so I ate it.
No.
so like how
What I remember from the painting is just that it was really small. Like it's
Yeah, I've heard it's like a lot smaller.
it's
than
it's like a very small painting. So
But I mean, he threw it at the glass, so there was like just a smear of cake in front of the Mona Lisa, and like the guys are like telling the guy to leave, and they're like wiping, smearing the cake all.
did he
over.
get in trouble or anything? Like
I didn't really hear anything about it. It just looked like they were like, "Okay, you need to leave now."
okay. It doesn't affect the value of my Mona Lisa NFT at all, does it? The fact that it experience.
it actually makes the price go up because
Yeah, and they made a new cake.
Yeah, the cake smear NFT.
NFT.
for $1 million.
Yes, you can have the original and the cake smear.
Are we sure that this wasn't Banksy, like in disguise, like doing this
Who?
at the
He would
Louvre?
never reveal his identity.
Who is this?
Banksy?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Are you
Really?
serious?
You've never heard of Banksy?
No.
Banksy is like this anonymous street artist who like nobody knows who he is, but he's done like a bunch of street art.
No.
You've never heard of Banksy? Really?
Weird.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
That sounds.
There
really
was a
cool,
documentary
though.
about him, Exit Through the Gift Shop, which is a really
Exit
good
Through the Gift Shop,
documentary.
yeah.
So he's just some like unknown.
Yeah, just
Like a British
Some guy.
he's a British street artist, but his works are like very
very sought after.
yes.
We should try to expose him for who he really is.
You don't know about that, huh? Little Landon Jr.'s gonna
Is this
cry.
I'm actually really surprised that Landon has not heard of Banksy. Anyway, but it's not important. So look him up, watch the documentary. I think you'll like it. So.
What's the documentary called?
Exit through the gift shop.
The Banksy.
I love documentaries, so I'll probably watch it.
Okay. Anyway, so I just thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
People be crazy.
I wonder if he knows he accomplished nothing through what he did.
He's probably happy a lot of people are talking about it. Like he'll listen to this and be like, "Yes."
But because of this, there's all these people now who are like going to actively try to like harm the Earth because of what he did. They're like, because this guy told me to be better to the Earth, now I'm going to be worse to the Earth. See, so like,
Yeah.
I think that's what Landon's getting at. Is this, it's going to cause more problems, right? Because
Yeah, probably,
I think
yeah.
the thing that we should be grateful for here is just that we know that bulletproof glass is also cake proof.
That is
We
true.
didn't know
Amen.
Maybe he
hallelujah.
thought it was going to go through the glass.
that. I think he did. That's why he didn't shoot it.
Or maybe you didn't even know there was glass there.
I think
Pretty sure you know.
I think the real victim in all this was the cake, though. I mean, that was a cake that
Yeah,
could
he
have been
wasted
eaten.
it. Yeah.
I saw the
also,
picture
like,
of the
he
smear.
wasted some of the Earth's resources.
Think of all the starving
Yeah, he
children in
wasted
third world countries.
sugar,
They
the
could've eaten
flour.
that cake.
It's just a very weird thing to do with that message.
the guy probably has some like.
Oh,
mental
you
health
think?
issues.
The guy probably has some chunk monk.
He waited, 3 hours to get into the Louvre, somehow hid cake, and then smeared it on, not on the painting, but just on the glass or plexiglass that protects it. So, yeah, I
No,
think the guy
I
has
bet
some
he felt-
issues.
I bet the rush he got though, like the whole like stress of like getting through with the cake. I bet like the high. I bet it was pretty great.
How do you hide a cake?
I know, like, I bet he was like so nervous, like, and then when he got to the painting, he's like, "Oh, I finally gonna throw a cake at the Mona Lisa." And he did. He's like, "Yes." And then I bet like the regret afterwards, though, like, I bet the come down from the high of like sneaking the cake, and I bet it's pretty bad. Like,
Yeah, like where do you go next?
I don't know.
You throw a Twinkie at
Venus de
He
Milo.
went he went back to his he went back to his parents. He went back to his parents' basement and was like, "Oh God, what have I done?"
I have peaked.
Yeah.
Was he French? Was he?
Yeah, because she was
French?
screaming in French. The French, am I right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Have they ever won a war?
Yeah, they've won lots of wars.
No.
They've lost some, but they've just like. Well, I was gonna say just like America, but America's never lost a war, right?
Never lost.
never lost.
I have a quiz, Mick.
Yes.
Before we get unhinged.
Oh no.
Get more.
And anything else before I get to our show ending quiz?
I don't think so.
Okay. So if anyone remembers, this is part 2 of our quiz from supposed to be last week, but it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago at this
Do I
point.
need a chart? Do I need a chart for this
Nah,
one?
you don't. So last quiz was about the federal executive departments because we were trying to do
No.
we were trying to do a quiz, or I wanted to do a quiz about National Park Service, but I wanted to get there eventually. So this quiz is about the Department of the Interior, which was one of the executive departments. Department of the Interior, of course, is about the I can reread the portion I got for this, but it's responsible for the management and conservation of most federal lands and natural resources and the administration of programs relating to Native Americans, Native Alaskans, Native Hawaiians, territorial affairs, and insular areas of the United States, as well as programs related to historic preservation. So it's all about the inside of the United States. So federal lands, most likely administered by Department of the Interior. So the last quiz we did, I had you try to guess the departments. I'm not going to have you do that because I don't think you guys know all these. And it's like who's going to guess Office of Surface Mining, Reclamation, and Enforcement?
What?
I mean, I know Jordan was going to get it, like Jordan, but
Yeah,
like the
I
rest of you guys, I figured.
My question is, who would make a quiz about this stuff?
So
Dave.
because this quiz is about the Department of the Interior, it's basically just like a U.S. geography quiz. So if you like U.S. geography or know about the states, then you should have some good success in this quiz. But also this one's going to just be a little bit more informative. So I'm going to kind of teach you about the different departments and then what they do for their purpose in the interior of the U.S. So
I like to learn.
good, because you will be learning in this quiz. So we're going to start with our Department of the Interior quiz. So the Department of the Interior it's like 10 sub-offices. The first one is called the Office of Insular Affairs. So they oversee federal administration of several United States insular areas. Insular just means relating to or from an island. So except for 3, each area has
Hawaii.
What?
Hawaii.
Well, no, Hawaii is a state. It's not an insular area. So we'll get to that.
So it's an island.
What's the insular area?
Insular area means relating to or from an island, but it's for territories and such.
Hawaii.
So, except for 3, each area has a distinction as either organized, unorganized, and incorporated or unincorporated. So organized just means that the U.S. Congress passed something called an Organic Act for it, which specifies how it should be governed. So like the first one of these acts was called the Northwest Ordinance from 1787. This created something called the Northwest Territory, which I'm sure most of you guys have heard about. The Northwest Territory contained lands from 6 future states. Can you guys name any of the states that were in this Northwest Territory?
Washington, Idaho, Montana.
So real quick
Oregon.
though, this was made in 1787. So what was considered Northwest in
Ohio.
1787?
Ohio.
Yeah.
Ohio, Michigan.
So Northwest Territory was Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. So it's laughable now to think of that as the Northwest, but those kind of acts create territories, which in the U.S. are not states. So territories can also be unorganized. That means that there's an absence of an organic law from the U.S. Congress. They can be incorporated, which means that the Constitution applies, or they can be unincorporated, which means that only basic protections apply. So you can be a U.S. territory, and the U.S. Constitution does not apply to you for certain territories. So there are 8 inhabited insular areas in the United States. Can anyone just name 2 of them? Remember, insular meaning pertaining to an island, and it's a territory of some sort, so it's not a state. So don't say Hawaii, Michael.
So there's 8 of them?
Yeah, you just need to name 2.
To an island? Cuba.
What? Dude, are you... would that be like... Is it like Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico is one of them.
Oh, thank God. I got one. Prince Edward Island.
The Dominican Republic isn't part of the.
No, that's
Where is it?
Mick, you've been to one of these. It's in the Western Pacific. Its slogan is "Where the American Day Begins."
What?
Shoot.
Alcatraz.
Hell yeah. Nailed it.
What is the...
There's an Air Force base on this island. It's a very
I know.
small
I
island.
can't remember.
Any other guesses? Can anyone guess one?
I got one, man.
Okay.
I'm good. I got my point.
I'm going to say Cuba again.
Are there any in the peninsula by Seattle?
No. So the rest of them are Guam, which is what Mick was thinking of.
Guam.
There's the U.S. Virgin Islands, American Samoa,
Virgins.
and there's also 3 freely associated states, which they are sovereign states that are considered insular areas based off of these weird contracts with the U.S. So the Marshall Islands, Micronesia, and Palau are those, but those aren't actually part of the U.S. So Office of Insular Areas deals with these island territories. Next office.
So like the Marshall Islands, like their own thing, but they're like kind of with us.
There's like some contract that was signed that they like first something that benefits them. They function as an insular area, but they are their own nation. They are not a territory of the U.S. They are a UN sovereign nation. But there's probably some like trade thing that like they get some bonus that they wanted to do this. So there's 3 of those. Next office is called the Bureau of Reclamation. They oversee water resource management, specifically as it applies to oversight and operation of the diversion, delivery, and storage projects that is built throughout the western United States for irrigation, water supply, and attendant hydroelectric power generation. So they do a lot of dams, the Bureau of Reclamation. So like the Hoover Dam is owned by and operated by the Bureau of Reclamation. So this office, along with a lot of these, they function primarily in the western half of the U.S., though there are some things that they do. So western in this context means 17 specific states that are west of Mimal. Can anyone tell me what Mimal is or what that means?
God, dude.
You're mispronouncing mammal.
It's an acronym. Mimal. M-I-M-A-L.
Middle, introverted, middle.
I'll give you a hint. This is the name of a bunch of states that almost create a person.
Minnesota, Iowa, Arkansas, Louisiana, that one.
Like the
Yep.
Mississippi.
You got all of them
River
except for Missouri. So
Missouri. Yeah, Missouri.
So remember, it's the guy. He has the hat on, and then he's standing
and
awkwardly.
Tennessee is the frying pan.
Yeah. So Bureau of Reclamation. All of these dams are west of those states. So like I
And
said,
then Kentucky is the chicken that he's cooking.
yes,
in Tennessee.
exactly. So can you guys guess? So of those states, which of these states has the most Bureau of Reclamation dams?
Louisiana.
Well, no, it's not any of those. It's states west of those.
Washington?
Washington has 18. It's about somewhere in the middle. But this state, it encompasses most of the southern Rocky Mountains, as well as the northeastern portion of it's Colorado. So they have 61 of these dams.
Oh, 61.
61. California has 50. For reference, Washington has 18. Down at the bottom, Texas only has 4, and North Dakota with the least has 3.
Texas.
Yeah, you figured Texas would have more, but Colorado has 61
North
of these.
Dakota only has 3. Yeah.
Suck it, North Dakota.
We should go to all the dams.
Not all of them. Yeah, well, you've been to one of them so far, right? Or 2 of them.
That is
Grand
so
Coulee
big,
also. That's a Bureau of Reclamation dam. So
Guys want to take a damn trip?
That one was built right around, I think, the time that the Hoover Dam.
I think
was.
about the same time.
After.
Like when I was researching this, like the heyday of building these dams was kind of like the 1910s to like the 1940s or 50s. So like that's where
They don't
most
build
of them
anymore, right?
They don't build them like they used to. Well, also they don't build
all.
them anymore because I think they realize that there's like sometimes severe ecological
We don't know
repercussions that they've discovered. So next,
it's free power.
yes,
That's what I
free
say.
power.
It's free power.
Next office is called the U.S. Geological Survey. They study the landscape of the United States, its natural resources, and its natural hazards that threaten it. The organization's work spans the disciplines of biology, geography, geology, and hydrology. This one was actually probably my favorite office just because it seemed like it was the cool science one. Some of their notable programs are they have an earthquake hazard program, which monitors earthquake activity worldwide. They have a national geomagnetism program, which monitors the Earth's magnetic field. Can any of you guess, as of 2015, where the geometric pole was located for the North? In what country?
What?
So, like the North Pole, like magnetically,
Russia, right?
is located in a country. I can do multiple choice. There's the U.S., Denmark, Canada, Norway, or Russia.
No, Canada.
I think it's Russia. Isn't it Russia?
I'll say Denmark. Why not?
It is Canada. It's in Ellesmere
Oh,
Island, Nunavut, Canada. But the rest of them
Canada gets everything.
the rest of them are pretty close. I think Denmark is the second closest because of Greenland.
Isn't it moving though?
It moves, yeah. That's why there's the geomagnetism program, because it monitors that field and it moves
Why
around
can't we just
over
stop
time.
How quickly does it move, Dave? Do you know?
I don't think it's
60
very.
miles in 6 months.
Some of the other programs, there's the astrology research program. They are involved in global, lunar, and planetary exploration and mapping. There's the National Wildlife Health Center. They study several diseases that affect American wildlife, diagnose the cause of mass wildlife die-offs. And then there's the National Volcano Early Warning System. They monitor 169 volcanoes in the U.S., and they establish methods for measuring relative threats posed. Do you guys know
Yellowstone.
what?
Yellowstone.
Yes, like Yellowstone. Do you guys know which state has the most volcanoes?
Isn't it Montana?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna guess. Montana.
Montana has the super volcano, doesn't it?
It is not Montana.
Are you kidding
Don't
me?
lie to me.
The super volcano is Yellowstone.
This
little
state has by far the most volcanoes.
Is it Wyoming?
Hawaii.
Is it Wyoming?
Mick, you have a guess?
Is it Hawaii?
No, Hawaii is actually fourth.
Is it Wyoming?
No.
Is it Wyoming?
Is
South Dakota? North Dakota?
it Utah?
This has a lot of volcanoes just because of where it's located, but also due to its size.
Texas. California.
It's
Maine.
Alaska.
Rhode Island.
Alaska.
Alaska with 101 volcanoes. Second is Oregon.
Are all of them active?
What, second? Oregon's
Second is Oregon with 42. California is third with 28. Hawaii is fourth with 25. And your own Washington is fifth with 19. Do you guys know which state has the least amount of volcanoes?
Probably
Rhode Island.
Nebraska.
Yeah, Rhode
Island.
It's gotta be Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
So it's actually a tie. It's a 28-way tie. There are 28 states that have 0 volcanoes.
Okay.
Is Nebraska one of them?
No, the answer is Rhode Island, Dave.
So Rhode Island, I think, is one of them. So
Well, like it has to be. If they have 38 volcanoes, I'm going to freak out.
2 territories have volcanoes. Also, this is the thing I found interesting. Like, most of the volcanoes are clearly on the western half of the U.S., but actually 8 of them, or actually 12 of them total, are east of Mimal, or part of Mimal. So there are some volcanoes that are on the east half of the U.S., but not a lot. The next 2 offices these were created in 2011. They're kind of similar, so I will go over them together. One of them is called the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, and the other is Bureau of Safety and Environmental Enforcement. So one of them, they are the BOEM. They study the environment and leases resources on the outer continental shelf. And the Bureau of Safety and Environment, they provide regulatory oversight and enforcement. So the first one, they keep records of shipwrecks to ensure nations' important historical sites are protected. That's one of the things they do. Do you know how long a shipwreck needs to be in the water for it to be considered a national landmark? It's a very round number.
10 years.
50 years.
1 year.
It's 50 years. 1 year.
1 year.
So there were over 100 attacks on ships in the Gulf of Mexico by German U-boats. Several were listed by the Mineral Management Service and maintained now by the BOEM. Only 1 German U-boat was sunk in that time, in the Gulf, and that was by a U.S. Navy patrol craft. But both of these offices, they were created in part due to the Deepwater Horizon oil spill of 2010.
I've seen that movie.
Known colloquially as the BP oil spill. So I'm sure you guys remember that in the news. That was huge news for a long time. So to the closest 10 million U.S. gallons, how much oil was spilled in the Gulf of Mexico during the Deepwater Horizon oil spill? To the nearest 10 million gallons.
240 million.
I'm gonna say 800 million. I'm gonna say all the oil, all of it. We lost all of it.
400 million.
So Jordan, you guys actually went way over, but Jordan was closest with 240 million. It was 210 million U.S. gallons, which is approximately
The news told you.
which is approximately
It's 800 million.
which is approximately 318 Olympic-sized swimming pools,
That's not that big.
or exactly 210 million gallons of milk. So
What?
I love.
How many cows is that?
I love milk.
So the oil spill, it lasted 4 months, 4 weeks, and 2 days.
What
11
caused
people.
it again? What happened?
The Deepwater Horizon oil platform exploded in the Gulf of Mexico,
God.
and this started
Isn't
leaking
it Mark
oil.
Wahlberg's fault?
So the spill lasted 4 months, 4 weeks, and 2 days. 11 people were killed, and 17 people were injured. Initially, BP downplayed the accident. Its CEO, Tony Hayward, called the amount of oil and disbursement, quote, relatively tiny in comparison to the, quote, very big ocean. He continued to draw criticism when he
he's
said...
not wrong.
He continued to draw criticism when he said that the spill was a disruption not just to Gulf Coast residents, but also to himself, stating, quote, you know, I'd like my life back.
Wow.
Is he still in charge of the company?
I don't think he is. Next office, the Bureau of Land Management, or BLM. They are responsible for administering federal lands, primarily in the western U.S. The mission of BLM is to, quote, sustain the health, diversity, and productivity of the public lands for use and enjoyment of present and future generations. So grazing, mining, coal leases, conservation, and firefighting are some programs managed by the BLM. That office, they dominate 2 states in particular. Can you guys guess what those 2 states are? Like they own, like BLM owns land in these states.
Probably California and Washington.
Say it again. Sorry.
BLM dominates which 2 states in particular?
California and Oregon.
I don't know.
Just guess 2 western states, Landon.
Washington and California.
So it is Nevada, where I live. They have 48 million acres, which is roughly 63% of the state. And actually, Nevada is in total 81% federal land. So Nevada only owns like 19% of their state.
Nevada.
Utah is the other one, 22.8 million acres. 42% of the state is BLM, with a total of 63% of the state federal land. So both of those states, a majority, and in like Nevada's case, a vast majority, is not even the state's land. It's federal land. So originally, BLM holdings were described as, quote, land nobody wanted because homesteaders had passed them by when they were coming over. But now the National Landscape Conservation System, overseen by the BLM, is a 35 million acre collection of lands in over 800 federally recognized areas visited by tens of millions of people each year. So as previously mentioned on our other quiz, like Red Rock National Canyon, Landon, where we went hiking and scrambling, that is administered by the BLM. They also do trails and stuff too. So what famous 1,000 plus mile long dog sled trail is also administered by BLM?
Oh, darn it.
Do you know the name?
The transcontinental.
Balto.
Yeah. What do you know the name of the trail?
God dang
Balto
it.
trailer.
God dang it. I should know this. Oh, shoot.
The Great Balto.
It has
Trail.
2 names. It has its name, but then it also has the name of like the 2 cities or the 2 towns that are connected
The
by this.
Lewis and Clark Trail.
No, stop. It's like, is it Anchorage to somewhere?
It's
No.
Seward.
Kevin Bacon Trail.
The 2 towns, it's called Seward to Nome, but the other name is probably what you guys have heard and know it by.
Balto.
I'm going to lose my mind when you tell me. I don't
know.
I'm going to be so mad because I know
Okay.
it's like,
It's
it's like the back of my brain.
it's Iditarod.
God!
So, can you guys name 2 other notable trails that use portions
No,
of
I
BLM
probably
land?
can't.
Well, isn't there a trail that goes from like Arizona up to the border? Like the
Do you guys know any of the names of these trails?
No, I don't.
is it
Dave.
called the Transcontinental
Railroad?
something?
I'm a railroad man.
The Centennial Trail, is that one of them?
Would you know what is the Centennial Trail a part of? What bigger trail? You said it earlier.
Transcontinental
No.
Trail?
2 names.
Trans-Siberia Orchestra Trail.
Is it the one that you were talking about?
Balto Trail. Is that the one?
You said it earlier, Jordan.
Oh, the Lewis and Clark.
Lewis and
Trail.
Clark. Can you name
Nice
just
job,
any
Jordan.
other notable trail? If you name another notable trail, you probably will get it right. So when you think of like trails in the U.S., what do you think of?
There's that one trail on like the East Coast, right? What's that one called?
Okay, the rest of them are the the Oregon Trail. Have you guys heard of that?
Dang it! God dang it! God dang
The
it!
Pony Express. Have you guys heard of that?
Stop! No,
Yeah.
stop!
Nez
stop.
Perce, Old Spanish, California.
The
So-
Oregon Trail.
I would have lose my mind, dude.
Okay.
Easy.
We need Will here to just say the answers.
Well, no, because Will's not. Remember, this is actually like Will's weak point is
Weak
geography. So there's 3 more offices. There's I'm sorry. There's 2 more offices. There's the Bureau of Indian Affairs. They're responsible for implementing federal laws and policies relating to indigenous peoples and administering nearly 56 million acres of land held in trust by the U.S. federal government for native tribes. So the BIA they're one of the oldest federal agencies in the U.S., with roots tracing back to the Committee on Indian Affairs, which was established by Congress in 1775. Which famous U.S. statesman first headed that committee?
U.S. statesman. Say it again. Sorry. Hold on.
So it's the Committee on Indian Affairs, established in 1775, and it was headed by a very famous U.S. statesman.
John Adams.
Benjamin Franklin.
It was Benjamin Franklin. His nickname is the First American because he had like so many firsts. Some of which were like he was the first postmaster general, first ambassador to France, first secretary of the American Philosophical Society. He founded the University of Pennsylvania, founded Philadelphia's first fire department, founded the library company, organized the first homeowners insurance company in the U.S.
He was a baller.
Started the first German language
why he's on the
newspaper.
That's why he's on the $100 bill.
Yeah.
First
So
light bulb guy.
Shout out to Benny.
bonus question. The word first appears how many times on Franklin's Wikipedia page?
87.
100.
Trick answer. 1.
It's 59 times. So he was a very crazy guy. But
Could be 1776.
so between 1824 and 1977, the BIA, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, was led by a total of 42 commissioners, of whom only 6 were of any indigenous descent. Since the creation of the position of Assistant Secretary for Indian Affairs in 1977, which replaced like the previous position, all 13 occupants up to the present day have been indigenous. So the mission of the office and mandate historically reflected the U.S. government's prevailing policy of forced assimilation of native peoples in their land. However, beginning with the Indian Self-Determination and Education Assistance Act of 1975, the BIA has increasingly emphasized tribal self-determination and peer-to-peer relationships between tribal governments and the federal government. So there's kind of been a shift in how the office is run. So the next question is about populations of reservations in the U.S. This is from 2010, though, because that's the only information I could come up with. Can you guys name any of the top 5 reservations in the U.S. Regarding population size? 2 of them are in Washington, and one of them is very big.
Would that be like the Colville tribes or whatever? It's like probably not. I'm just going with like locals, Spokane stuff. that I can
Any
think
guess,
of.
Jordan, Mick?
Kalispell.
I was going to say like Kalispell.
Number 1 is Navajo Nation, which is
Navajo.
which is huge, or in comparison to, I guess, the rest of them. Navajo Nation is like
Road.
Navajo Nation is in Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah. Monument Valley is within Navajo Nation. Next is Osage Reservation, which is in Oklahoma, and then third is Puyallup, which is in Washington. Fourth is Yakima, which is also in
Dude, that's
Washington.
my parents.
And then
Yakima.
fifth is Flathead Reservation, which is in Montana. last office that we will cover, because there's a 10th office, which is National Park Service, but we'll cover that later. But last one for today is the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. I'm sure you all have heard of it. They're dedicated
I have a fishing license.
They are dedicated to the management of fish, wildlife, and natural habitats. The mission of the agency is working with others to conserve, protect, and enhance fish, wildlife, plants, and their habitats for the continuing benefit of the American people. Since 1934,
they hate the dam people. Then probably right. They fight with the dam department.
I mean, there's
My
probably
dad's
some
old company worked with dams.
there's probably some rubbing of elbows there, I would say, right? Since 1934, the U.S. FWS has issued a special adhesive stamp each year that serves as a permit for hunting certain kinds of animals. It is widely seen as a collectible and can also be used to gain access to the National Wildlife Refuges for no charge. What does it permit you to hunt? What is on the stamp? And what is the stamp called?
A Discover Pass.
God dang it. No.
It's a very famous collectible, but it has these other perks as well.
The questions were what's on it? What does it permit you to hunt?
What is it?
And the hint is they're kind of all three basically the same answer. So
It's a buck on the front, and you can hunt buck.
it's called
know
the
the
buck
answer.
stamp.
I don't know
called
the I don't know the answer to this question.
Okay.
I feel like Jordan would, but
I thought Jordan was maybe going to get this one.
I'm thinking. Go ahead.
Okay, so it lets you hunt migratory fowl such as ducks and geese. On the stamp
And bucks.
is a duck.
Oh, is it the duck with a green head, a mallard?
Well, it's a different duck every year, because what happens is the program is people get to they essentially crowdsource the art for it. So there's like an art contest every year that people send in, and then there's a winner, and that gets to be the duck stamp for that year. So it lets you hunt duck. It has a duck on it. It's called the federal duck stamp, or migratory bird hunting and conservation stamp, or people just call it the duck stamp. So besides the stamp,
What if they run out of ducks, though? Do they reuse old ducks?
yes. So besides the stamp, the USFWS, they oversee the National Fish Hatchery System, which I'm sure we all have been to one. They manage National Wildlife Refuge System.
yes.
They partly administer the Endangered Species Act of 1973, and they run the Migratory Bird Program and govern 6 national monuments, among other activities. So last question of the day is going to be about these 6 national monuments that they run. We're only going to cover 3 of them because the other 3 are kind of hard to guess. So this first one, it was created in 2000, mostly from the former security buffer surrounding this historically important nuclear reservation in south central Washington.
Oh, darn it.
Mount Saint. No.
No, it's the nuclear plant.
Yeah, do you guys know the name of it?
Is it Havard?
It's Hanford.
Hanford.
Yeah, so it's the Hanford Reach National Monument. Next one, it's located on just 3 islands in this 1,200-mile-long crescent-shaped archipelago in Alaska, framing the southern border for the Bering Sea. So essentially, do you guys know the name of all of those islands that stick out of Alaska?
What?
I'm not familiar with it.
Jordan says it's the Northern Lights.
Mick, do you know the name of the islands?
Dutch Harbor. I don't know.
It's the Aleutian Islands.
Okay.
So the monument is Aleutian Islands World War II National Monument. Last one. It includes no dry land area, but protects over 95,000 square miles of these submerged lands and waters in the western Pacific Ocean. It has an islands unit, a volcanic unit, and a trench unit.
Oh, I feel like I should maybe know this, but
I feel like all 3 of you should probably be able to get this.
trench unit.
The important
Pearl
hint is that
Harbor.
it has a trench unit. That's
Harbor.
the most important clue in all
it's
this.
Something trench, something.
Marianas Trench.
It is the
The-
Marianas Trench
yeah.
Marine National Monument.
Nice.
Isn't that
Nice.
isn't that the deepest part of the ocean?
that we
Yes,
discussed
it is.
before.
So the other 3 national monuments that the U.S. Fish and Wildlife has is the Rose Atoll Marine National Monument in American Samoa, the Pacific Remote Islands Marine National Monument in the Central Pacific, and the Papahanaumokuakea Marine National Monument in Hawaii.
I was gonna guess that one.
Yeah, that's what I thought everyone was going to get. So,
yeah.
Last office, of course, National Park Service. They manage all national parks, most national monuments, and other national historic and recreational properties with various title designations. And National Park Service will be a quiz we cover either next week or in another 3 weeks. So that is the Department of the Interior. So if you guys know about the U.S., you know about the Department of the Interior, and it seems like you guys know a fair amount about it. So good job.
Does it?
Now we know a fair amount about it.
I forgot everything.
That'd be crazy if we just did the same quiz like right now. If we just started over, like,
Okay, Landon, which state has the most volcanoes?
it's
New Hampshire,
Oh, what was it?
Texas.
Rhode Island.
It was
It was Texas.
No,
wasn't it Oregon?
It was Utah.
It was.
Oh,
Texas.
come on. It was Alaska.
Alaska.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I forgot.
It was not Texas. I take that back.
Dude, Texas is...
Texas only had like 4.
Texas might have 2, if I remember, but I think it has more than 0, but it does not have, very many.
68 or
Anyway.
whatever. 118 or whatever it is.
All right. Well,
That was a fun quiz, Dave. I enjoyed it.
I feel smarter.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel smarter?
no.
Yeah, I feel smarter enough.
Anyway,
Trench.
the trench run.
Death Star.
Bump, bump.
I can't believe we didn't get the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
We don't live in Oregon, so it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Good point.
And did you ever play the video game?
I did. I played Oregon Trail too.
what trail was the Trail of Tears on?
The Trail of Tears.
I know, but like,
That was like wasn't that like more southern, southeastern?
It was more southeast because it was moving from like the southeast states towards Oklahoma, I believe.
okay,
Really bright spot in American
I know.
history.
I only thought about it because after that we went to the native land, like reserves and stuff.
We kind of, yeah.
America, America.
Jeez.
Well, anything else? Or should we
I think we're good.
wrap this up?
I think we're good.
Okay. Well, thank you all for listening to this week's episode. Maybe next week we'll have Colby and Will back, but
Maybe not.
maybe not.
Anyway,
Yeah,
If there's another Smash Bros. Tourney,
Yeah, if there's another Smash.
another Smash sesh.
Yep.
Smash.
Will to go to.
Smash.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. We will talk to you all next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us, Jordan.
Thanks for having me. I appreciated it.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Hot+keys podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, CastBox, YouTube, and other podcasting platforms. Visit our website, www.hotkeyspodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at HotKeysPodcast and join our Facebook group at facebook.com/HKHotkeys. Please like and review us and subscribe to the show on whichever platforms you use. Finally, you can contact us via email at hosts@hotkeyspodcast.com.